And we are live. How is everybody tonight? We are tweeted out. We are posted out on the Discord. So, how's everybody doing tonight? It is time for yet another Let's Talk Seahawks. It is Monday, first day of August. And we got some stuff to talk about. So, stream looks good on my end. Can everyone see me and hear me? Looking good. Already got about 50 people in here. So, some of the interesting items of note that we're probably going to spend a decent amount of time talking about today include, but are not necessarily limited to. There was a minor fight today at training camp between DK Metcalf and Darrell Taylor, but I wouldn't even really call that a fight. That was more of a minor skirmish that quickly was resolved. So I can't say too much about that one. Fights happen in training camp. That was a very small one. I've seen ones that are much bigger. The offense continues to struggle. The defense has definitely looked better. Now, that's not surprising. Our defense will probably be a little better than our offense this year, maybe even a lot better than our offense this year, and I get that. And early in training camp, you generally see offenses get outperformed by the defense. So, with that in mind, that doesn't change the fact that Geno Smith did not look particularly sharp today. Drew Lock looked a little better, but still not great. I don't think we scored any touchdowns in the red zone drills, which is ugly. But the defense continues to make plays. We're seeing positive signs from a lot of the cornerbacks. We're seeing good things from Jordan Brooks. We're seeing good things from a lot of these players. I'm encouraged by a lot of these things that I see. So I'm optimistic about our defense, but they are playing against an offense that I already expected to be not so great, and they may even be playing a little bit worse than that because they just got there. Nevertheless, I do want to call out a couple of things that I've noticed from training camp on the offensive side. It seems to me that Drew Lock is starting to assert himself as maybe the better of the two quarterbacks. I'm not convinced there's going to be enough time for him to actually take that starting role based off what I'm hearing. It seems like there is more confidence in Geno at this point in time. I don't know if there's enough time to make up that difference. So, that's one of the things that I think is interesting. Other than that, Jamal Adams was back today, and he was practicing with the little thing on his finger. So that was good to see. A little bit of a relief. That's most of the major stuff going on. Tomorrow they put on full pads. I know that. So tomorrow they put on pads. So I think that we might see a little bit more. We might get a better idea of how the run game looks because you can't really judge it this early in training camp. But other than that, things are just chill. I'm waiting for things to come to me. We now have over 100 people in the stream, so let's go ahead and start opening it up a little bit. I'm going to start fielding questions from the chat. I will not be able to answer everything in the chat because the chat's likely to be moving quickly. I'll answer as many as I can. If you have a question or a comment that you want me to see, read, and address, and you want to guarantee it, you can send it in as a super chat or a tip. As you can see, we have tip goals and super chat goals for the stream, $25 each. We also have a sub goal for the month because today's the first day of the month of 9,250. So we're about 200 away. We also have a members goal, trying to get back up to 100. We're at 92 right now, so just 8 more members over the course of the month, no problem. And yeah, that'll about do it. Please like the stream if you haven't already. And with that being said, let's get underway here. So Pete had, yes, that's the other thing. I forgot to mention that. Pete had COVID, was not there today. I had COVID a couple months ago. It wasn't fun. It does feel like as it gets more contagious, the strains are getting less severe. So I don't get the sense we have a ton to worry about right now. But obviously that's not ideal. You wonder where he got it from too, kind of, I guess. Let's see here. So he'll probably be gone for the whole week, right? He probably won't be allowed back in for a week, which is not ideal during the time when you're supposed to be getting in work, but it's at the end of the day, it's not like we have super high expectations for this season, so I'm not going to let it trip me up too much. Let's see here. How is the running game looking? I haven't heard much about Walker or Penny. Yeah, the running game is really hard to judge early in training camp because defenses aren't even trying that hard. If you watch the running plays in practice, it's just like the Red Sea opens up. The Red Sea just opens up, and the running back just runs through, and nobody touches him, and Kelnick hits into a double play. I should have turned the game off before I started the stream, so I stopped talking about it. Sorry. Yeah, this game doesn't matter at all, by the way. I'm not mad about losing this game whatsoever. So, yeah. Let's see here. Thoughts? Oh, Piers, thank you for the first super chat of the night. $2. Decaf Metcalf. That's still funny that the announcer actually said that and he wasn't trying to make a joke. Like, that's not even close. Decaf and DK, like, I guess it's kind of close, but an announcer probably shouldn't be doing that. But it's funny now. You know, it's actually good that he did it because it's funny. Thoughts on Anthony AR-15 Richardson? I think we need to see more from him. He hasn't played that much, but I'm very interested by him. I'm definitely interested. I don't know if he's going to fit our offense with Waldron, but I like him as a prospect in general. U-Week 2K, Gino looked rough. If Law can't beat him out, we're in a lot of trouble. Yeah, it's looking that way. I don't know. I don't think Gino played terrible last year or anything. There's nothing exciting about Gino. I know he's probably a little bit better than Locke right now, but God, can we just get a little bit more interesting there? Go Hawks, is it me or has DK grown up a ton in the last 12 months? Well, you would expect that. This is what I always say about the people who are concerned about DK's immaturity things. Most people grow up. And look at this, my shirt. Look at this. My green screen is like making my shirt look weird. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, most people grow up. They get older and they mellow out a little bit. So I look at Metcalf, who came into the league very young, and I was like, that's probably going to happen to him too. Most of the time it does. Any news on Boye Mafe? Haven't heard anything. No, have not heard about Boye Mafe. I don't think I've heard much about any of the pass rushers except Nwosu, who had an interception today, so that's not even pass rushing. I haven't heard anything about the pass rushers, though, now that I think about it. Michael Dixon do anything cool? Not that I've heard. Pierce, thank you for the $23 super chat. Wow. Wanted to reach your super chat goal right away. Thanks for always keeping me entertained. Hey, thank you, Pierce. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Shout out to you, man. Love ya. Do you think Kobe will beat out Artie Burns by week 1? Yeah. Yes. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to say yes for now. It wouldn't shock me either way. I think Colby will start at some point this year. I don't know if it's going to be week 1, but it could easily be because he's so experienced. Marty, MF Williams. What's up, Brendan? Go Hawks. What's more likely? Over 10.5 sacks for Taylor or 1,300 rushing for Rashad Penny? I'm going to say 10.5 sacks for Taylor because Penny will probably not play every game. I'm going to say that, yeah. Clemente Jackson, thank you for the $4.99. Just wanted to help out the channel. Appreciate the hard work you put in to keep us up to date. Yeah, that's kind of the purpose of the channel, really. It's just kind of a general collection of news and things that happen. Anthony Richardson is one of my favorite QB prospects for next year, right along with Stroud and Young, but we'll see what happens and what they look like after the season. Yeah, I think Anthony Richardson only has a handful of games, like not as much as some of these other guys, so we need to see more. Go Hawks. Thank you for the... Okay, that's got to be Canadian, so I'll call it $8 Canadian Super Chat. Who would you want more, DK or Debo? DK all the way. Debo has a lot of growing to do. Have a great show, Brendan. I don't think either guy has shown more of a propensity to be, I'm going to say, immature than the other. I think they both had their little hiccups. The thing with Debo, the reason why he was so demonstrative about getting his money this offseason, the reason why I think he threw such a fit about that is because he doesn't think his career is going to last that long because of how Shanahan is using him. When you look at the gadget plays, the plays out of the backfield, the plays where he's getting plastered by linebackers as like the default, he looks at that and he goes, I may not get another big contract. It's possible. So he's like, pay me now. I'm not messing around with you. Whereas Metcalf is thinking like, I'm going to get this contract, I'm going to get another contract, and then I'm going to get another contract at the end of that maybe. So he could afford to be a little more chill about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Debo did this offseason. Now, I will say, Debo is saying he doesn't want to do that stuff anymore. He's saying he doesn't want to do the gadget play, out of the backfield, run the ball stuff, because he doesn't like to get hit like that. And yet he got paid based off a season where he was doing that. So part of me is like, how is this going to work? How is this going to work where you paid him like he's doing that stuff, and then you have him stop doing that stuff? That, to me, is a problem. But we'll see if maybe that even ends up happening. Maybe Kyle Shanahan gets in there with him this offseason and is like, hey, I paid you. You do what I tell you to do. Devin Martzall, thank you for the $9.99. Just pitching in. Thanks for what you do, buddy. Go Hawks. I appreciate it, Devin. You know I appreciate it. Thank you, Devin. Let's see here. So Locke looked good. Apparently he looked better than Geno. I don't know if it was good, but it was definitely better than Geno. I know this isn't Seahawks, but I'm hopeful for the Huskies this year. I'm not that I'm not that high on the Huskies this year. I think they'll be better than last year, but that's impossible to not. Seems that the Debo and DK contracts were almost exactly the same, and that's not a mistake. Definitely not a mistake. What's the ceiling for the tight end room? If they go from good to great, how much will that change our season record? Probably not that much. Tight ends going from good to great, I don't think that has a big impact. But I hope they do, because it's going to increase the ceiling going forward. I'm thinking about this more when we have a better quarterback. Hey guys, hope all is well. Excited for another season. Me too, Michael. It doesn't matter how bad it may be. I'm still interested to see what happens. I do not feel down the second. I do not feel down at all, actually. Can't shake the cough. Bryce Young is the real deal, going to win his second Heisman with stupid numbers. I mean, I'm not against Bryce Young necessarily. There are just some guys I like more. Side note, that Mariners game today was depressing. Nah, I wasn't even upset about it. I knew we were going to get killed. Marco pitching in Yankee Stadium, like, that's not even fair. Marco pitching in Yankee Stadium is like asking Shaq to shoot free throws. It just doesn't make any sense. Walker will be running back one by midseason. I don't know. We might run Penny into the ground because we know he's not going to be here next year. Preserve Walker for next year when he's the bell cow, and use Penny as much as you can. Maybe one thing that I would really like to see, actually. Now, I don't know what his trade value would be. Do you trade him at the deadline, or do you hope he gets a big contract in free agency and you get the compensatory pick? So, I don't know. It depends on a lot of factors, but I wouldn't mind running Penny into the ground because he's not going to be here the next year. What do you think about the workout we given Foster? Ah, yes, we should talk about that a little bit. It's interesting. I don't think I don't think anything is going to come of it. I like the idea. I like the concept. I have a feeling they're going to pull him in and not see the stuff in the medicals that they want to see. Um, is there any QB that interests you in next year's NFL draft? A ton of them. And some of the ones that don't interest me could change my mind with how they play. Eskridge over under 400 yards. I'm going to say over, but I'm saying it like wincing because I know, like, Yeah, I think you guys know what I'm gonna say there. Like, it's like, this is not going the way we needed it to go. Would you be surprised if Seahawks reach 500 this year? Yeah, I don't see 500. 8 and 9 would be miraculous. So, yeah. Eskridge didn't do any field work today. Yeah, see, it's going in a bad direction. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not like a lot of people. I didn't even want Creed Humphrey that much. I was not a huge Creed Humphrey guy like a lot of people. So I'm not even one of those guys who looks at Creed Humphrey and sees like your lost Lenore. But bottom line is that's not going to a good place. The Eskridge thing is not going the direction we needed it to go. Even independent of that. It didn't have to be Humphrey. It could have been somebody else. Our skill position players are loaded. I don't know about loaded, but I think we're getting there. Especially if one of the Melton and Derek Young pairings work out. What's your percent estimate that we make the playoffs as a wild card? 6.9%. 6.9%. Score prediction for the Hawks week one. I'm going to go and I'm nervous. I'm going to go like 21-17 Broncos. I think our defense is actually going to play pretty well in that game, but I don't think we're going to be able to score enough. How do we score, man? Yeah, Marco's game is not built for Yankee Stadium, Savage Gamer. Okay, the comments are flying now, so I'm going to start missing some. Sorry to anybody who gets skipped over. Eskridge, maybe 400 yards receptions. It's possible. I'm not going to rule it out. Cross looks like he's added weight, which he needed, but hopefully it's muscle. A lot of players show up to training camp. A lot of players show up to training camp a little overweight. Wilson has. I've seen Jimmy G looked like Jabba the Hutt last year when he showed up to 49ers camp. They play the weight off by the time the season starts. So don't be surprised if he loses it back and kind of gets back to where he was in college. Brendan, thank you for answering all our questions, man. This is what makes YouTube good. No problem, Anthony. I appreciate your support. Enrique is 93. With the addition of the rookies and the talent we will have in the future, what QB prospect in the next draft will best fit the team? More of a pocket QB or a scramble QB? I like Will Levis, who's a little more of a pocket QB, but he's not a statue. Did you see Drew Lock's conference today? He seems to have confidence now. Yeah. Yeah, I like the answers he's given, but we'll see if it translates to the play on the field. Creed Humphrey would have been 1,000 times better than Eskridge. I mean, it's looking like, honestly, like I like Bo Melton. What if Bo Melton ends up being a better receiver than Eskridge? Like, what a disaster that turns into. But I'm not saying I don't think Eskridge is a bad player, but clearly he's going to have issues staying on the field. So it's unfortunate. But unlike with Penny, you could have seen it coming. The Penny injury was a fluke. He tore his ACL when somebody ran his helmet into it. Like that's just a fluke. The Eskridge stuff you could kind of see coming from college. That's what I think frustrates people. I remember when we pulled in Rashad Penny for his like workouts and we took a look at his medicals. It was like, these are the greatest medicals that any player we have ever looked at ever had. Like he had an incredibly clean medical record. So it's hard to get mad at the team when he can't stay healthy when he gets to the NFL. It's like, that's just the randomness of the draft. The draft is not random, but there are random elements to it. That's the way I like to put it. There is some luck involved, but there's definitely skill as well. Austin might be rough year, but still going to be fun. I don't mind watching rebuild team. Oh, I would much rather watch this than whatever the hell it was last year, where we have these big time expensive players and do nothing. I would much rather rebuild. This is way better than last year. I'm in a wheelchair. I think I'd look better than Gino. I don't want to go too far with the Gino slander. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback, but he's just, I kind of want to go back to something I talked about on the Hawks Nest stream where you can be a good quarterback throughout the game. You can be a good quarterback when the defense doesn't know what's coming, when you stay on time and down and distance, when the play calling is good, you can look good. And Geno did do that in some of the games last year, right? But at the end of a close game, like maybe you're down, maybe you're tied, there's a couple minutes left and you have to drive down to win the game or tie the game, there's no play action. There's no play action. They know you're not running the ball. There's no threat of the running game. There's no 8 in the box. There's no biting on run fakes. There's just you and your offense against the defense that knows you're going to have to pass it. Those coming through in those spots is what makes the difference between a bad team and a good team often. And I don't think Geno's going to be able to handle that. And that's not me, by the way. This is not me like defending, saying that the Wilson trade was bad because of that. Because honestly, Wilson had really started to struggle in those spots too the last year and a half. So I'm not saying that we should have kept Wilson because of that. I'm just saying that that's why I don't think Geno's the guy. You can look good when the run game is chugging, play action is working. Like even, God, any quarterback outside of the guys like the Nathan Petermans of the world can look good in those spots. But there are going to be like 5 games a year that come down to, can you go down the field at the end when there's no run game, no play action, defense knows the passes are coming, it's just you and your offense against the defense. I don't think Geno's going to be able to do that. That's my thing. I've seen people say Carroll is on the hot seat, which couldn't be further from the truth with Russ gone and ownership in flux. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Carroll's not on the hot seat. It's not happening. I'm not thrilled about it, but I also don't think it's... I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. We will probably come out of this stretch of Seahawks football saying that Carroll is better at rebuilding than he is having a team that is a piece away trying to make that deep playoff run. Maybe that's just not something he was really good at handling. Not good at handling the quarterback who took 18% of the cap. But if you give him a team that's like bad and you're trying to rebuild, he can do that stuff. That's how we got to the top in the first place. So maybe he'll be better at this than he was at the stuff when you had the super expensive good quarterback. What is your prediction for Hawks season win-loss record? I said 7-10. It might be 6-11. I feel like it's going to be somewhere in there. I don't think we're going to be disastrously bad like some people think, but I'm not rooting for the team to lose. I don't do that. But part of me is like, man, can we just go 3-14 and get that top pick? But I'm not interested in rooting for the team to lose. That's some weak-ass stuff. Zay, for the culture, you think the Broncos' offensive line is going to hold up against us? I mean, I don't think our pass rush is going to be amazing this year, so I don't know if that's necessarily like the hardest challenge in the world. T-Law, why not be optimistic as a fan base? There's guaranteed going to be 31 teams that will not win the Super Bowl. Well, I don't think it makes any sense to be optimistic right now about the immediate future. I'm optimistic about the future beyond this season, but I can recognize the fact that we have one of the worst teams in one of the worst quarterback depth charts in the league, and quarterbacks are a big deal in the NFL. So, and remember, we were bad last year with Wilson. And however bad some of you guys think Wilson is, I know some of you guys don't think he's good anymore, and that's fine. However bad he is, he's better than Geno. He does stupid stuff, of course. He does stupid stuff that Geno won't do, but he's not better than Geno. I'm sorry, he is better than Geno. If you can't win with Wilson, how are you going to win with a quarterback who is clearly worse? No matter how little you think of Wilson, he's not worse than what we have now. I feel like we traded situations with Denver. We became what Denver was. The difference is they have an offensive guy as coach. So do you think a coaching change to an offensive guy would be better? I don't think it necessarily has to be the head coach. I would like to get an offensive coordinator who can just run the offense. Hopefully, Waldron ends up being that guy, but we're not going to find out immediately. That's for sure. So the thing is, my thing with Denver is I'm not impressed with Hackett's resume. He was in Jacksonville for a while. He was a clipboard holder for LaFleur in Green Bay. I'm not high on that. Hackett to me is like, I know it was time for him to get a head coaching job, but I look at it and I go, well, this resume is not bowling me over. But he is an offensive guy, you're right. Let's see here. A lot of rookies lean up for the combine, then put weight back on before camp. Yeah, that's true too. That's a good point. Linebacker, there are 50 likes now. The like counter that you guys see on the video is rarely accurate. I've had people tell me it shows 20 likes and then I see 150. So don't worry too much about it. That being said, if you are in here and enjoying it, please hit the like button. What do you think about a few plays with both Geno and Drew in at the same time? That way defenses don't know which QB to go after. Um, that sounds bad. Yeah, that sounds bad. Geno is not fast enough or athletic enough anymore to be like a gimmick wide receiver. I don't like that at all. Nah, I don't see that. T-Law, let's stop talking about players like they get injured on purpose. Oh yeah. I completely get that. Players don't get injured on purpose, but some players are more likely to get injured than others. You know, Andrew Bynum versus somebody like a Nikola Jokic. One guy is far more likely to get injured than the other. I don't think there's anything wrong with pointing that out. Mason Dahl, where do you see us ranking in terms of time of possession? Hard to be worse than last year. We will be better there than last year. I can pretty much guarantee that. That is an area we will be better because I do think that as much as we don't have good quarterbacks, they will do a decent job running those elements of the offense. And I also think that us leaning heavily on a run game that should be pretty good. I'm not going to say it's going to be great yet. It's too early for that. Could result in some good TOP. This will be a much more fun team to watch than last year from PretentiousCameron. Last year's team made me depressed. Yeah. Who wants to watch a team with a bunch of expensive supposed superstars lose? I'd much rather watch a team full of young guys with, high risk, high reward, low floor, high ceiling guys go whichever way they'll go. And if it goes to a terrible place, it's fine. Savage Gamer, when you need him the most, he fails. That's kind of what I'm saying. I don't believe in clutch. I don't believe in clutch. I don't think players eat a magic pill that makes them superheroes at the end of close games. I don't believe in that stuff, but I do believe at the end of games, in those big situations, defenses play the pass. Pass rushers get to pin their ears back. So it is harder. And some quarterbacks are good enough to drive down the field in those situations, and some aren't. And I don't think Geno can do that. We kind of saw him not do it a few times last year. Now, I don't want to put too fine a point on that, but, well, it happened. Marty, MF Williams, Seahawks' biggest need currently quarterback, defensive tackle, center, inside linebacker, right guard. I would put center above defensive tackle because we've re-signed Monet. Monet's a big dude. Any word on the DT signing? Can't remember his name, but played for the Gators. Backup. I doubt he makes the team. I can't remember his name either. But I doubt he makes the team. He's a camp body, probably. Could you see Waldron under any circumstance be fired after this season? Because I think he's pretty safe from Mason Dahl. Probably not. Probably not. Maybe. I mean, I guess there's some scenario where things go really badly, but I don't see it. I don't see it. He probably shouldn't be if you're going to stick him with these quarterbacks. Pete is probably here for 3 more years at most. I could see that. Maybe Sean Desai's the heir apparent. Maybe he's planning on extracting himself after doing some setup and saying, okay, Sean Desai, you are You are my Padawan, and now it's time to make you a Jedi Knight. I don't know. Do you think that Kobe will be a top 10 corner this season? No, almost certainly not. And I like him a lot, but top 10? Nah. It's Jose! Welcome to the basic membership club, buddy. Thank you, Jose, our first member of the stream. Welcome aboard. Penny was classic Seahawks galaxy brain thinking, zigging rather than zagging. Take the overused running back from Mountain West. Is SDSU in the Mountain West? Isn't West Virginia in the Mountain West? They're like completely on the other sides of the country. I might be thinking of something else here, but I feel like if SDSU is in the Mountain West, and so is West Virginia, maybe they're not. I don't know. I get confused on some of the college football conferences stuff because I don't follow it that closely. I remember at the time, the reason why we didn't take Chubb is he didn't fit the blocking scheme, but now we have a new blocking scheme, so. Oh well. Azaria Israel, nobody with injury issues should be drafted in second round. Eskridge is a bust for sure. I mean, Willis McGahee was a first round pick and he had just shattered his leg. I don't know about that. It's Jose. Thank you for the $2 tip. I just want to contribute. I appreciate the content. Thank you for the tip. Yeah. D's Bear Nuts. Is Sean Desai a good signing and good future head coach? I like him a lot from what we've seen, but we've got to see more. Zach Holt, thoughts on Brian Brissy out of Clemson? He's on my list. He's on the list. I remember talking about him a little bit in a video a couple months ago. Pete earned me a little bit more trust with rebuild after the draft, just a little bit. Yeah, that's fair. He had a good draft. But it's just the first step. You can easily undo all that good work if you don't continue. Got to park the car in the garage, too. You can't just win the race. Mason Dahl, remember the Jags last year with a worse roster, a rookie QB and the worst NFL coach of all time, won 3 games. I see 4 wins being our floor. Yeah, I mean, I think people do forget the any given Sunday factor a little bit. The worst team in the league doesn't go 0-16 or 0-17 every year. They do find a way to win games they have no business winning a few times a year. Who do you think is the best receiver on the team and why? I think Metcalf is a better receiver than Lockett. Lockett makes it interesting, though. Lockett makes it interesting, ain't no doubt. John Ace Vito, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate it, good sir. Is anyone else excited about Cody Barton? I'm not excited about him. I want to see what he can do. The Carroll is a rebuilder storyline is hot garbage. He had almost a decade to put enough pieces around a HOF QB. He failed miserably. Okay, but that's not rebuilding. That's not rebuilding. That's the opposite of rebuilding. So how does that prove anything? It's Jose. Thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. What is that, a Shiba? Eli Russell's on the field play is good. Russell Wilson is not a good locker room leader, which is the root to the last Seahawk dynasty falling. I don't know. We heard a lot of former Seahawk players talk about how they didn't really like Wilson. But a lot of those guys, I don't know if I trust them. Like Sherman. Sherman has an axe to grind. I don't know if I trust that guy. But when I hear it from other guys, I'm like, maybe. Maybe. I don't think he's a bad leader. I don't know. DK is coming for blood. He looks ready to run through defenses. Yeah, you just need a quarterback who can get him the ball. I don't know if we do. Not encouraged about that. Mason Dahl, besides Diggs, who do you think leads the team in interceptions? Also, besides Locke. Besides Diggs, I'm going to say... I guess I'll say Adams. I'm probably going to regret that because his finger's messed up. He won't catch anything. Seahawks in Brother Abe 509. Seahawks in third down situations, being able to convert, getting more first downs. How would range conversion percentage? I'm not sure. Not sure what you're totally getting at there, Brother Abe. Wilson was not good on third down, but I don't think Geno and Locke will be better on third down. Like, I don't think they're going to be better anyway. Like maybe a little better, but they're not going to be good. So, I mean, it's not like we have the answer here as well. But yeah, late in the season last year, I remember this. I made a video talking about this a little bit, and we talked about it on stream. Late in the season last year, there was a point where Wilson was the worst quarterback in the league, literally worse than Sam Darnold in obvious passing situations. That's insane. Insane. So, whoever we get this year, Drew Lock or Geno Smith, I guess he'll be a little better than worst, but not by much. I mean, he can't be worse. He could be as bad, right? But I mean, just because there were some things that Wilson wasn't good at, and there were, doesn't mean that the guys we have now are going to be good at those things either. I think maybe Geno's a little bit better equipped to run the Waldron offense, but I don't know if that makes up for the lack of deep ball. I don't know if that makes up for some of the other stuff too. I don't know. John Smith, expectations for Walker. Do you see any similarities with this team with the 2011 Hawks? That's the hope. 2011 Hawks, that comparison, that's pretty good. I would be okay with that. I don't think they're going to be as good as the 2011 Hawks, but the idea is the same. The principle is. Enriquez 93. Do you think we will spend another high draft pick on a running back next year? If Penny leaves, we will need another running back. I think we'll draft another one. I don't think it'll be a high pick, though. It doesn't need to be. On another note, Nwosu made a good play on our Geno Smith pass today. It's definitely good to see. Maybe he fits into our future plans. Yeah, I mean, we got him for a couple years, and he's not a bad player. West Virginia is a Big 12 school. Okay, thank you. Jack, how can you say our QB room is bad? We don't know what either player can do yet. Locke never really had a fair shot in Denver, and Geno was arguably better than Wilson last year. Yeah, but Wilson was bad last year. So that's not really that much of a compliment. And Geno has these very clear limitations as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, at the end of a close game, like if look, he could be okay. Here's how I'll put it. Geno Smith could be Jimmy Garoppolo. You take everything out of his hands, you turn him into a handoff machine, you make everything super easy for him. He can do it. He can do it. He can do it. Yeah. He could do what Jimmy G does. But as soon as you actually ask him to do something hard in a big spot, you're playing with fire. That's the thing. So, yeah, that's what I see Geno as, Jimmy Garoppolo. And, you know, Jimmy Garoppolo has a job in the NFL. He has a place in the NFL. Shanahan made him look semi-competent. So, okay. But if you don't have a great system and a great collection of teammates, it's not happening. Geno was not 1-3 week 2K. He was 1-2. He came in at the end of the Rams game after the half, so that's not on him. He was 1-2 in games he started. Sandy Phantom, Brendan, you should react to the DK Taylor video live. I saw it. It's not that much. It's not. There's not that much happening in that video. It's pretty chill. Gudge Studios. Who do you see winning the QB race? Right now I'm gonna say Geno. I don't think there's enough time for Locke to take it, but I hope he does. Honestly, I really do. What's more likely, Marquise Blair playing into a second deal for us next year, or Tariq Woolen getting over 4 games playing time from Marty MF Williams? I'm gonna say Tariq Woolen. That's more likely. Tariq Woolen's more likely because Blair, even if he's pretty good, his natural position is safety, and we already have too much money invested into safety. What are you expecting for the split between carries with Penny and Walker? How many yards are you expecting for the run game? I don't know about yards because that has to do with game flow, but I think Penny's going to get like 70% of the carries to start. Marcelo Rendon, has there been any news on Quandre Diggs? Not that I've heard, but he's out there practicing, so he's fine. Pretentious Cameron, will Adams get at least 6 sacks in this new defense? Sure, I'll say yes. Crispy Boy, hey Brandon, what are you looking for the most out of this season? Good D-line, QB search. What I want to see from this season is Cross and Lucas growing into being good NFL players by the end of the year. That's what I want to see. I don't. I don't expect them to be great at the start, but I think they'll be great later in the season. Check. Geno and Locke won't chuck the ball 40 yards every third down when he's not taking a sack or throwing the ball away. Locke might. Locke might. Geno probably won't, yeah. I mean, Geno will just take the sack. Yeah, bro, let's hear it all. Want all the stats you got. Just want here and have a decent conversation with the coaching, mixing, and players every scheme we can possibly think about. Mm-hmm. Lockett is a real estate agent now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Wilson is the only QB with over 100 passer rating in each of his past 3 seasons. He threw 40 touchdowns in 2020. Yeah, these are box score stats, you week 2K. This isn't the 90s. There are other stats we can use now. There are other stats that we use to paint the full picture. Touchdown passes is just part of the equation now. Noctivagant, just saying I've been with you since about 1,000 subs. Congrats on almost 10K, Brendan. Thank you, Noctivagant. Yeah, you've been here for a while. I remember you. Empower, I personally never believed in the tanking philosophy. The goal is always to win in my book. I don't think teams tank. I think teams just kind of accept their fate. Like, a team is not going to say, let's intentionally lose. Let's go out there and fall down at the snap. Let's, drop every pass that goes my way. Let's, miss field goals at the end of close games. No, they don't do that. But they do go like, well, we don't have good players, and there's nothing we can do to get players that are much better. So let's just deal with it and lay back and come back next year. They do that. They go, okay, I'm going to take this player who has like a hangnail, and I'm going to take him out for the rest of the year because there's no point. Let's not even mess around with that. Let's not even mess around with that. Let's just sit him down for the rest of the year. Even though he could play, we're going to just put him on IR. They do things like that. They don't intentionally try to lose. Crispy Boy, I'd be happy with playoff contention. It's clear that this isn't a winning team, but I'm looking forward to the future and our young players. Yeah, we're going to find out about these young players, for sure. Which I'm excited about. Yeah, Dakota J. Jamal Adams trade worked out really well for you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that though, because it's yeah. No problem, brother Abe. Hudson Lowe, has there been any news on? I'm assuming you mean Quandre Diggs. Heard his injury was brutal. He's out there practicing and looks at 100%, so that's good. Week 2K Seahawks are definitely tanking. Just don't want it to look like they're tanking, so they're talking up these QBs. And when they stink, Pete will go, gosh golly, I really thought they'd be good. Well, I don't know if he'll even say that. That makes him look stupid. If that happens, like, you're kind of just making yourself look even worse than you've already made yourself look in some recent times. I think he'll just say, it wasn't our year, and he'll know that the people who actually control whether or not he has his job understand. And, I understand too. A team with this roster should not be expected to win a Super Bowl. It is what it is. But they're not literally tanking, but they are accepting their fate. If they weren't tanking, I do think they would have gotten Baker. I do think they would have gotten Baker. The fact that we didn't get Baker tells me that we're cool with whatever happens this year. Costa Rican sports fan Penny will get the majority at the start, with Walker slowly eating into his workload till he becomes the lead back. I wouldn't be surprised if Penny's the lead back the whole season because we just want to ride him into the ground a little bit. Marty MF Williams, what's more likely, Mariners World Series or Seahawks wild card? I'm going to say Seahawks World Series. I'm sorry, Mariners World Series, because our pitching staff should be elite. And we have such an easy schedule the rest of the way. Alexander Wheeler, I don't think Pete is capable of tanking legitimately when relationships with your players are on the line. Yeah. I don't think anybody really tanks. Remember when everyone was convinced that Dolphins team was tanking and then they won like 4 games at the end of the year? Which to me was just an indication that they weren't actually tanking. They were just really bad, and then Fitzpatrick lit a little bit of a fire under them. CJ, do you think Lockett should have been traded when it made sense to trade him, considering the influx of youngsters at the position, as well as by the time we get good again, he may be out anyway? I would have said that maybe at the time. Now, I'm not so sure. I don't think that's true. I actually don't think that's true. It seems to me that Lockett is going to be good a little longer than I thought, so it's okay. I'm not upset about that anymore. Shizak, a lot of games last year came down to 1 or 2 plays. What's saying even half those games go our way this year, plus the team is overall better than when Wilson was here. But the team isn't better than when Wilson was here. It's not. That's what I'm saying. I know some of you guys think Wilson sucks now, and that's okay, fine. He's still better than Geno and Locke. I don't think Bobby Wagner is that good anymore. But he's better than Cody Barton. And while we did add some nice things like Noah Fant, you also lost Gerald Everett. We added somebody like Nwosu, but we lost Dunlap. We lost, well, I'll say Mayoa because he played a lot last year. I know he wasn't great. And Hyder, who I thought played okay last year. So we lost DJ Reed, probably our best corner last year. So we lost other things too. I don't think we're better than we were last year at all. Even if you completely remove Wilson from the equation, I'm not sure. So, not sure. Not sure I agree with that one. You think Jimmy G gets cut? He kind of has to, Karen. Nobody's going to trade for him. Wu-Tang Financial, I've definitely seen teams tank games. I don't think I've ever seen a team have their players literally like let the other team score so they lose. Like that doesn't sound like something I've ever happened. Been here since 750 subs. So happy about the growth of your channel. 9,000 subs. You deserve it, Brendan. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate it. Quandre's fine, everybody, unless you guys seen something I ain't seen yet. Just looked. Yeah. Quandre's practicing, running around out there. As near as I can tell, everything is cool with the Quandre man. Dax Swag, the Jimmy Graham trade and Jamal Adams trade hurt Seattle. I still don't think the Jimmy Graham trade was bad. Like, there was nothing wrong with that player. We just used him in a way that didn't make any damn sense. And even with that, he was productive for us. And Unger didn't last that much longer. So that trade doesn't bug me as much as the Adams trade for sure. Tommy Eden, Pete genuinely thinks Geno and Drew can run the offense fine, I think. Does he think they will carry the team? No, but at least Case Keenum level of play. I don't think the rest of the team is good enough to win with a Case Keenum level of play. So I'm not really thinking that's going to result in anything good. But I agree. Those guys are not like Nathan Peterman. Like Geno Smith and Drew Lock are clearly better than guys like that. They might end up being even better than a guy like a Jimmy Garoppolo or I don't know, Sam Darnold. Maybe that's possible. I'm not ruling it out. But I don't think you're going to see them be as good as I don't think you're going to see them be as good as like Ryan Tannehill or Kirk Cousins. That's out of their reach, I believe. I don't know if Justin Pritchard, I don't know if we'll make the playoffs, but I think we're better than what these NFL experts are saying. I'm not worried too much about what the experts are saying. I haven't looked a lot. Dax Swag, Brendan, do you like Deshaun Shedd as our DB coach? Seems fine to me. No issues. Okay. How's the health of the stream, by the way, guys? Is everything still cool? Is it buffering at all for anybody? Is it lagging? Any issues? Almost impossible to tank unless you sit all your good players their contracts for forward production. Yeah, that's the thing, too. That's the other thing. Think about it like that. Players are thinking about their next contract often. They're thinking about, if I tank here, if I make myself fall down, if I intentionally lose games, how am I going to get another contract? They're not down with that. They don't do that. Players want to win. Teams sometimes maybe want to lose, but players aren't going to be down with that. Mm-hmm. The only time Gino and Russ faced each other, Russ outplayed Gino and won the matchup 23-7. Russ and his team were the underdog. When did that happen? Was that 2012? Was that Russ's rookie year? No, that was before Gino was in the league. When did Russ and Gino play against each other? How do I not remember this? This is bad. My memory's usually pretty good for this stuff. Okay, we played the Fitzpatrick-led Jets in 2016. I know that. And that was after he was off the Jets. He was on the Chargers. He was on the Giants. We didn't play him there. And then he was here. Huh, I don't remember that game. James Files, Jimmy G is just starting to throw. He won't be cut by the Niners until the last moments. It'll be week 3 or 4 before he's even able to play, in my opinion. Plus, he will only have a basic grasp of the offense. Yeah, nothing good is happening for him. Charles21, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the channel, Charles21. Empower code, Tyreek Smith activated off the PUP list. Good to see him getting some live action. Yeah, other than the Jamal finger thing, which looks like it's not going to be significant, the injury situation's actually clean. Like, literally the biggest thing outside of the Jamal stuff is probably BBK. It's pretty clean. So that's encouraging. Mason Dahl, I really like to see Brooks blitzing more. It was a strength coming out of college and would hide his coverage limitations to a degree. Yeah, I've talked about that a little bit. I really want to see Brooks show something as a blitzer. We know he's great against the run. We know he's the opposite of great in coverage. So, yeah, let's see some blitzing. I think he can do it. I think he can do it. T-Law, Pete's philosophy in defense plays better with a younger team, and this is the youngest, fastest team the Seahawks had in years. Seahawks will make the playoffs. 10-7 will be their floor. I can buy what you said about the defense. I agree with the defense part. I just don't think it's going to result in enough wins. It's hard to play defense in the modern NFL. One second, guys. I want to turn off the TV. They're about to start replaying the Mariners game, and I don't need to see that. Nobody needs to see that. I don't need to see Marco act as batting practice. Everything 12's Tharama. Where do you think our defense will rank? I have them 16th to 9th in overall defensive points given up. That sounds about right to me. I think they're going to be around 11th. The offense is going to hinder things a little bit. Justin Pritchard, we might not have a good QB right now, but I think our defense could be solid this year. I agree. I think our defense will be good. Pete usually has a way of getting a lot out of a little on the defensive side. In a way, he's better at getting a lot out of a little than he is getting a lot out of a lot. Like the 2018 defense had so little talent, and he made that defense pretty good. And then we kept adding more talent, and the defense kind of got worse. It was weird. But he's pretty good at getting a lot out of a little. How high or low are you on Eskridge? I mean, I kind of have to be low now, but it's not for a lack of trying. Tanking would hurt the players' futures, wouldn't be fair to them. Yeah, exactly, Devin. Players don't want to do that. Players don't care about your draft pick. If anything, they want you to not have that draft pick because you might draft their replacement. Michael C. Gino, 14 in a row, 20 of 21 completions, could be more efficient. Yeah, um, he did play well in that game, but I'm not exactly going to I'm not exactly going to assume that's representative of what he'll do from week to week. Marty MF Williams, I honestly think we could get the first pick playing in the NFC West scheduled AFC West and NFC South. Hey, that might be what it takes to get my favorite, Will Levis. So, hey, I mean, whoever you end up wanting, you're definitely going to be able to get them with the number one pick. Yeah, Dakota. I mean, I don't dislike Gino. I don't think he's terrible. I think that there are going to be times when he looks totally fine. But when the rubber meets the road, it's hard for me to believe that it's going to be anything effective. Michael Centalonza, the QBs and skill position players are fine. I'm more worried about the O line. These guys are young and will struggle this season. Yeah, I'm prepared for that as well. That's what I tell people. The two rookies starting at tackle, like get ready for a little bit of a trial. Get ready for a trial. But it'll be worth it. I like both guys a lot. Mason Dahl, do you put any weight into player interviews? Every now and then you get an interesting nugget of info, but most of it feels like fluff. Depends on the player. Depends on the player. Some players are good, some players aren't. A lot of like Wilson, whenever he does an interview, he always speaks in cliche. He doesn't want to let the media too far in. It's like what Shaq used to do, and it's absolutely what I would do if I were a player. I don't want to let the media know too much about me. Just keep them at arm's length. Make them like me, but they don't need to know that much about me. It's cool. Okay, I'll be friendly with you. I'm not interested in being a Bill Belichick, but I'm not telling you everything about my life. Seahawks can't be favored in more than 4 games this season. The same game Seahawks fans have circled as wins have the Seahawks circled as wins for their team. I mean, I don't think the Lions or the Panthers are really circling much of anything as a win, honestly. So there are a couple games that I feel fine about, but it's probably not going to be great. So apparently Russ played Gino in college. So West Virginia versus Wisconsin. Oh no, I'm sorry, North Carolina. Yeah, okay, that probably happened at some point. I believe that. Austin, oh, college game. Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, yeah. But it was a long time ago, guys. That was an eternity ago. Eternity. Okay. I'm a Yankees fan. I enjoyed the game tonight, JK. I mean, I didn't watch very much of it, to be perfectly honest, because I knew Marco in that stadium was going to be terrible. Yeah, 2018 was maybe Pete's best coaching job. Really. It was, I think. Charisma Lori Lai. I'm sorry, I probably mispronounced that, but welcome to the channel membership club yet again. I remember you. Thank you for renewing. Mason Dahl, you never wish injuries on a team, but seeing the Rams be completely top heavy and dodge major losses like other teams makes you a little envious. I don't know, Mason. They did lose Robert Woods, and then they lost Odell in the Super Bowl. They never got anything from Tutu Atwell. Like, they lost a little bit, and they were able to keep up. Like, honestly, I can't say much about that Super Bowl run other than the fact that they dodged the Packers. I really liked Zach Wilson coming out of college. I know so far it hasn't been good. He's got a crazy arm. I still feel like he's going to be good. I have a strange feeling that Abe Lucas will be better than Cross when it's all said and done. I mean, it's possible. The thing is, left tackle is generally more important than the right, so Cross will have more value than Lucas unless he's significantly worse. So that's Um, are you saying Will Levis's name correctly? Maybe not, Staniel. Maybe not. I suck at pronunciation. RDMF Williams, I had to look back at all 32 teams to remember who would be competing for the first pick. Seattle has got to be up there with Carolina, Detroit, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Jets, Texans, and Jags. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to compete for the top pick. Tomlin usually finds a way to piece together some wins. Yona Jonah Jaffe, have you gone through the schedule and given your opinion on wins versus losses? Yeah, I did, but I'm probably going to do another one before the season starts after I get a chance to look at the team in preseason. The reject, top 10 defense this year. Close. I'm not sure if it's going to be top 10, but I think it's going to be in that area. I think it's going to be a little better than some people think. Don't talk about what Zach does in his free time, but it's funny, Big Jets. Like, what are we supposed to do? Not talk about it? It's funny. Sorry. Maybe you don't see the humor in it, but humor is in the eye of the beholder. Thoughts on Noah Sewell? Apparently, he's not very good in coverage, which turns me off a little bit, but he's about to play a whole season of college football where he could maybe show he's better at it. I kind of like Trenton Simpson more. Addison Shelb, why do you think so many of our former pass rushers end up in Kansas City? Fluke, random, just kind of the way things break. I don't think there's anything to read into it. Week 2K, they're Lions fans. Do you think they ever circle any game as a win ever? They never circle anything as a win. They don't even have the Bears games this year circled as wins. Given the weight of the AFC, I expect Pittsburgh to be selecting top 10. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. It's possible. It's possible, Marty. I think their defense is going to be good. I think Pickett's going to be okay. They're going to have a good running game with what's his name, Najee Harris. I don't think they're going to be any worse than like 6 wins, and I think they'll probably be about 7 at least. Byron D, thank you for the member message. Member for 4 months. Just showed up. Did you see Daryl Taylor and DK fighting almost? Yeah, it was pretty tame, though. It was pretty chill. It was pretty damn chill. David Phillips, come on, Brennan. I want to see not so great quarterback game manager that does what he's told instead of trying to create something that's not there. I agree, David, but that quarterback game manager still needs to be able to come through when it matters. Like you got to be like Stafford, right? Like Stafford's not the best quarterback ever. Stafford is, I mean, he's top 10, but he's not top 5. But at the end of a close game, he can go put together a drive to go win the game or tie the game or whatever it is he needs to do. That's the difference between somebody like him and somebody like a Geno Smith, who I don't believe will be able to do those things. And again, this isn't some, lamenting the fact that we don't have Wilson anymore. For the last year and a half, Wilson stopped doing that stuff too. He's actually mostly been bad in those situations after a career built on being really good. But that doesn't mean Geno's going to be able to do it or Locke's going to be able to do it. So you need a quarterback who maybe he's not the best quarterback in the league, but he can get it done at the end of a close game. Like I said, Stafford is a great example of that. All right, we've been going for about an hour now, actually a little bit more than an hour. I usually don't take these too much longer, but I am going to keep it going tonight because I don't have anything going on until my show starts at 9. So, thank you to everybody who's out here tonight on the stream. We got 260 people in here. Thank you for being part of it. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. Become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month to become a member, gain access to some perks. And we also take donations in the form of super chats. We have already hit that goal, and we also have tips as well. And yeah, we're gonna keep going for a little while longer. Yeah, Better Call Saul. It starts for me in a little less than an hour. Normally I would jump on Twitch, but there's not enough time, so I'm just gonna stream for a little bit longer and then go watch Saul. Right Guy, thank you for the member message. Howdy, gentlemen. Sorry I haven't been in the YouTube streams in a while. No problem, Right Guy. It's the off season. Yeah, Sir Cheeseburger, I've had a difficult time thinking about that episode. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Yeah, Tuck Tuck. I think it might be the best TV drama ever. I actually think it might be the best TV drama ever. Although I don't think this season is that great. I'm not crazy about season 6. It's let me down a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I thought that season 3 is probably the best season. And I do think the further they get away from a certain character, the harder it is to maintain that level of quality. Marty M.F. Williams, I would say Cam Chancellor is a top 75 defensive player of all time. I can't agree or disagree with that. I would have to do the list. It would take me a while. CJ Kurtzman really better than Breaking Bad? I think it is. I'm not sure though because this last season has not been great. This last season hasn't been great. I might change my mind, but I think the first 5 seasons were better than Breaking Bad. I do. It's better constructed, and it's the morality of the show is more Aristotelian, which I think is more appealing. Drew, the last season was pretty boring, honestly. I thought it was fine. I liked it. Addison Shelba, how surprised would you be if we make the playoffs at 9 wins by riding the coattails of our defense? Pretty surprised. Pretty surprised. Yeah, Tuck Tuck, Kobe's been great. Kobe's been great. Um, it's not surprising because he had so much experience in college, though. Robert Baldwin, for real, the midseason finale was fire. Yeah, that was good. That was good. But some of the early episodes were boring because, like, nothing happened except we were just waiting for the scam. And I don't think this last episode was that great either. It was. I think they took a huge L when they had to recast Jeff. When they had to recast Jeff, that was just like disaster. Because the first Jeff was way better. Would have been way better for what they were trying to do. Michael Bell, Kobe is going to be better than Sauce. I liked Sauce a lot. I don't know if I agree with that. Christy Marie, who wins in a fight? DK versus Daryl Taylor? Probably Taylor. He's bigger. He's got a weight advantage. Or, hey Brandon, what if Hawks draft Bryce Young or KJ Jefferson? Both can get career-ending injury. I say Swain or Collier for PJ Walker at QB. PJ Walker's not an NFL quarterback. Come on, guys. Come on. We're not trying to, like, be a fun team to watch when you're drunk. We're trying to be a team that can win a championship. I was waiting for order my DK jersey until we signed him. Just ordered it the other day once the news broke of his extension. That's a good way to do things. That's a good way to do business. Mason Dahl, I really like Trey Brown's upside at slot corner. Me too. Me too. I think that he may end up moving there because of the depth we now have at outside corner, and I think he'll be good at it. Marty M.F. Williams, Seattle needs statues for Cam and Chris Carson outside of our spinal institute. It's crazy how many of those guys end up with disastrous career-ending injuries. Zulkfli Samael, sorry if I mispronounced, how's Tariq Woolen been doing in camp? I did hear he made one good play. I haven't heard much else, but he's flashing. He's flashing. That's the important part. Two of my favorite players of all time really left it all on the field. Yeah. 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 I mean, they did it the right way, man, I guess. Right guy, I got my DK jersey 2 years ago. I'm not a jersey guy. I'm not a big fan of jerseys, but if I got them, I would collect them. I wouldn't wear them. I don't like wearing jerseys. Christy Marie seems like Curhan will start week 1. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced, but I'll give him a chance. I think Marquise Blair needs to be our free safety and Jamal should be our slot. I don't think Jamal's ever been a permanent slot corner. I don't know if that would be the role that he's good in. That puts him in coverage too much, I think. Brother Abe, 509. Will Disley, how many touchdowns will he get this season? I'll say like six. Six. Tuck Tuck, Better Call Saul is faster paced. Breaking Bad takes longer to develop with better climax. I actually don't know if I even agree with that. Better Call Saul does move a little slower than Breaking Bad, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I like it. Wilson's heroics carried this team for years. If he didn't make it happen, it didn't. He needed more support from defense or running game come playoffs. Saying he was the problem is just ridiculous. I mean, that was true for a while. I don't really think it's true now. Like, at the end of the season last year, our defense and running game were playing great, and we beat up on some really bad teams mostly. And, I mean, we actually lost to a really bad team, the Bears. Running game went all over the Bears. Defense put the team in a position to win, and Wilson made just enough dumb mistakes to still lose. Previous week, the defense played great against the Rams. Running game was okay, especially against a defense with that much on it. And we lost because Wilson was pretty bad in both games. So I don't think that's the case now. It was the case for a while, and the fact that he didn't get that support is a problem, but I'm not convinced it's going to be the case now, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Rams probably sweep us again. I can't imagine them not. Right guy, I wear a softer shirt under the jersey. That's the way to go, yeah. Marty MF Williams, I wouldn't say they did it the right way necessarily, but they did it their way, and that I have to respect, especially as a Seattle fan. Well, when I say they did it the right way, they didn't leave the team and make everybody kind of hate them on the way out the door, like some of these guys have, like guys like Sherman, guys like Earl. Earl's really done it the wrong way. He tried to murder his damn family. What the? Or was that real, by the way? I kind of feel like everyone forgot about that. Apparently, he tried to poison his family. I don't know if that actually happened or not, but I remember hearing about it. Zach Holt, so tired of seeing PJ Walker's name pop up. No need to trade for a guy that is buried on the depth chart and will either be a PC body or free agent. Yeah, yeah. He's not better than Geno. And it's not hard to be better than Geno. Yeah, Austin. Sherman jersey, Lockett jersey, not much of a jersey guy either. I like sweatshirts. Yeah, I just don't like the way jerseys feel. Q Coffee, how good do you think Noah Fant will be this season? I think he'll be better than he was in previous years. I think he'll have like 700 yards. Nothing amazing, but good. Wu-Tang Financial, BCS starts kind of slow, but it's great. Yeah, it moves slowly sometimes. It does. But it's worth it. Addison, I'm going to see us get our asses kicked in LA again this season. I've been to the Seahawks at Rams game in LA for the past 2 years minus COVID. We've lost everyone I've seen us play against LA. Yeah, it's probably not going to be fun, but you know what? I think I don't know if the team is doing it the right way, but at least they're doing it a way now. So, got to show up to, show some love and appreciation for that fact. I don't know if this is going to work, but at least they're doing something. Brother Abe Uchenna Nwosu, Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think he's that kind of player. I don't think he's that kind of player. The reject. If we beat the Broncos week one, I will. I will do something. I don't know what, but it's something. It'd be pretty cool. Not feeling good about it. Mason Dial. This is a tough question to answer, but how do you think our season goes last year if Wilson doesn't get hurt? I still don't think we're very good. Maybe we squeak into the playoffs, but nothing good happens in the playoffs. Tuck Tuck, Trey Lance top 20 QB this season? Especially in that offense, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% yeah. Right guy, the Bears game was cursed. It was probably the snow during a home game. That never happens. That is one of the worst games I've ever seen this team play. Which is weird, right? Because like so many players played well. Penny did great. We got a bunch of sacks on Foles. Wilson's box score was okay. Everett and DK had touchdowns. It's like all these things, and it's just like you lost to a team with Nick Foles missing all their best players. Good Lord. How did that happen? Cursed. Yeah, cursed is the right way to put it. Charisma, hey Brendan, do you think DK could pull off 1,000-yard season? He seems to have a connection with Geno. Oh yeah, I think he'll get to 1,000 yards. In a 17-game season, you should get to 1,000 yards if you're a really good receiver. Yes. Right, guy. Why are people suggesting PJ Walker dude was only a name because of the XFL? People kind of fall in love with random stuff sometimes. I mean, it'd be funny, but he's not good. The most recent news on Earl is from May, so I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Okay. I kind of hope he didn't because that's like really bad. Him having a orgy or whatever with his brother was bad, but trying to poison his family is like that's Aaron Hernandez territory. I hope it's not true. Marty, what would be the best outcome for the Seahawks this season completely disregarding whatever Seattle or Denver does? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but I guess Kyler, the Kyler thing could go really bad in Arizona because they're stuck with him for a little while now. That would probably be good, right? Christy Marie, haven't heard much of Mafe out of camp so far. Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't heard much about any of the pass rushers, though. Paul Third, why are there always more Rams fans on Hawks and 49ers pages? You get a few hundred in chat, like 20 are LA fans. Go to a Rams chat, there's like 5 to 10 total weak ass fan base. Can't even get a fans after an SB. Well, yeah, we saw it, right? Like the TV ratings for the Super Bowl in LA were awful. They were worse than they were in like Seattle. So, what else can you say other than that team is not catching on and they're trying to force it, but it's not happening? HB, do you think Puna had any trade value? Maybe to a team that would use him more? I think he has trade value, but I don't think we're going to trade him. I think we want to see if he'll fit in the defense, and maybe he will. He is a good player. Right, guy. Honestly, I could see us beating Arizona once, don't know about twice. I think we beat Arizona twice. You know what? I think they're overrated. I think that we catch them without D Hop that first game and beat them. But we'll see. Yeah, Addison, I saw the pictures of the Rams Super Bowl parade. Pretty bad. Hey, Brendan, what do you think about Joe Webb as a quarterback? Hasn't Joe Webb been out of the league for like 5 years? I remember Joe Webb from like 12 years ago. He's got to be old by now. Austin, LA doesn't care about Rams or Chargers. Kind of sad. Yeah, they don't. They don't. Let's see here. Marty MF Williams, who has a greater homelessness problem, the city of Seattle or the Rams organization? I do not know. Yeah, LA doesn't care about football, really. That's all you can say at this point. I don't think we beat the Niners at home, HB. I think the Niners are going to be pretty good this year. The only thing that could interrupt that is injuries. And it would have to be a lot of injuries because Shanahan's a magician. Don't discount him. Former Minnesota Vikings quarterback Joe Webb was reportedly let go by the Giants on Tuesday. He was in the league last year, but the Giants let him go. And the Giants had like Daniel Jones and Mike Glennon at quarterback. So if you can't beat out Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm, you're probably really, really bad. Helios, should the Seahawks play like they did in 2018 by becoming run first? They're going to have to, I think, Helios. I think they have to. Herbicide still think we sweep the Whiners? That would be shocking. I don't see it, but it'd be cool. Sean Hines, do you think Kobe Bryant will start this season? Yes. I don't know if it'll be from week 1, but I think he will. CJ Kurtzman, how often will we use Ballore at fullback this year, if at all? I don't think the fullback is a big part of the Waldron offense. I don't see very much fullback usage. I'd be interested to see how often the fullback was used in the last 6 games when Penny was going off. Yes, David, Seahawks fan. Of course, I don't know what our pick will be, but I do know we have 2 first-round picks, which we could easily package in a trade-up. Yeah, and we have 2 second-round picks we can trade up with. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Addison, we are in the middle of a rebuild, and I can confidently say we have a stronger fan base than the Rams, who just won the Super Bowl. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Dude, it looks like I've been, like, shot. Look at this. It looks like I've been shot by a cannonball. That's awesome. Who is better, Durham or Lucas? I'm assuming you mean Curhan or Lucas. Curhan is probably better right now, Sean, but Lucas has far more upside, far more potential. For the mock game, seeing that the tickets are 17 bucks, that's not bad, brother Abe. I might do it, but it's a huge pain for me to get up there. I don't like doing it that much. Rolando McClain got arrested again. Wow. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Jesse Lund, I appreciate the time you put in to the channel. Continues to be the best way to stay up to date with the Hawks, and it ain't even close. Also, shout out to the Hawks Nest. He's top shelf too. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate the support. DHDH heard Artie Burns been solid. Yeah, I didn't know if Artie Burns was going to make the team, but I think that the fact that he has that connection with Desai is going to put him over the edge. Sean Hines, do you think the Seahawks ever run a two-back offense? Once in a while. Once in a while. I'll see what I can do, Tuck Tuck. What day does the mock game happen? Does anybody know off the top of their head? I can look it up. Adam Smith, Reuben Foster. I wouldn't be against it, Adam, but I have a feeling. I have a feeling that his medicals are not very good. Mason Dial, what were your expectations when you started the channel? I mean, I grinded for a long time. I never thought I'd get big like this. I was just doing it because I wanted an outlet. DHDH, is Amadi going to get cut? I don't see a spot for him. I wouldn't be against it. I'm good with that. Um, and the thing with Amadi is that if you don't cut him this year, very unlikely he's back next year. But maybe maybe Justin Coleman ends up getting cut. Like, he might not have anything left. Maybe we're kicking the tires on him. Helios, do you hope the Broncos miss the playoffs so our pick is higher? Yeah, I want the Broncos to go 0-17. Like this is business. This is business, man. Austin Roberts, LA had a lot of football fans of other teams, so when Rams and Chargers came, they just stuck with their old teams. Pretty much. Anybody who jumped over from the team they'd been rooting for a long time to the Rams or Chargers is, well, I mean, that's weird. Right, guy, USC only has 3 years to make the CFP, then they go to the Big Ten and it'll get infinitely harder, leaving the Pac 12. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah, I was surprised he got it. I well, okay. I said earlier in this stream that I got COVID a couple months ago. I'm not sure if it was. I'm not sure if it was. It felt like it, but when I got tested, it was negative. So maybe I didn't. That's possible. I want to see the Seahawks lose in Week 1 so Russ can become one of the QBs to beat all 32 NFL teams once he beats the Chargers. Yeah, maybe that's why he went to Denver. He wants to get 2 cracks a year at the Chargers. Uh, I got COVID back in December from a Christmas party. I definitely was sick. I was definitely sick, but maybe it wasn't COVID. What Seahawks draft guy are you most excited about of the rookies? I mean, I think Kenneth Walker is going to do more than any other rookie this year, but the guy I'm most excited about is Cross because that's such an important position. Okay, guys, I'm going to go for another like 5 minutes here, I think, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut on out of here. So, yeah, we're going to go for another few more minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here. So, thank you, everybody who made this stream successful. We usually only go an hour, but we had so many people here and things were popping. So, we went an hour and a half, and it is good. I want the Seahawks to win so bad that it's humiliating for the entire Broncos organization. I mean, I will say this. Carroll traded Wilson. He chose to trade Wilson. So, regardless of the fact that I know there are other reasons why he did it, part of the reason why you did it needs to be I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's so good that it's worth keeping him because here's the thing. Rodgers wanted out, and the Packers said, no, you're too good. We're not going to trade you. We like you too much. We think too much of you. We are not going to trade you. We could have done that with Wilson, and we didn't. We decided if you believe that he asked to leave, then we said okay. And if you believe that he never asked to leave, then we decided to trade him anyway. Part of that has to be that you don't think he's good enough. So even though I know that the trading Wilson is more than about one game, even though I know that, if he goes out there week one and rips up your defense, Pete's defense, I don't know, that kind of makes you look a little like, are you sure about that, Pete? Are you sure he's not good enough? Like, based off what I saw in that game, it doesn't seem like you have any understanding of how to stop him, so you get what I'm saying here? Or I don't know who Eric Barriere is. Other than the fact that he's the QB at Eastern Washington University, but I've never seen him play. He's never entered my mind. So, to a certain extent, what I'm trying to say here is that the Seahawks defense should be able to go out there, and Pete should find a way to slow him down. It might not be enough to win the game, but if he throws for like 6 touchdowns and puts up 50-plus points, then that's kind of like, Pete, what happened? Will Jensen, what do you think of Blair? Is he just a complete wash now? I'm not there yet. He's had some bad luck, but I doubt he'll be a long-term part of this team. I think this is his last year here. Ethan Gunlock, player with the most approved this year, I say Jamal Adams. It kind of has to be Jamal Adams. Kirk Stemmer, would you prefer Levis or Will Anderson with a top 5 pick? Levis. Yeah, we didn't talk about that in this stream at all. We talked about it a little bit. The Watson suspension. Bizarre. Marty MF Williams, if we win week 1, I'd be completely fine not winning until 2023. You got to win a couple games. Or else it's going to be agonizing. Even the Jaguars last year won a few games. Do you want to be worse than that? No, I don't think so. Yeah, the Ridley thing looks really bad now. The Ridley suspension looks inexplicably bad now. All right. I'm going to shut down the stream in a couple of minutes. Really? Yeah, brother, Abe, that's a hell of a thing. What record do you want the Seahawks to have to balance out wins and draft capital? Just go like 4-13. That's what I would do if it was up to me. Okay, well, we went about an hour and a half. We had fun. We talked about some good things. Training camp is underway. Again, real quick before I tap on out of here finally, if you haven't already, please sub to the stream. Sub to the channel if you like what I'm doing. You can become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month. Donations, super chats, or tips are always welcome. They help keep the lights on around here. And yeah, we will continue to do more work in the near future. All right, my show starts in like half an hour, so I'm going to go prep for that, and I will see you guys in the near future. I'll do Twitch late tonight, Will Jensen. I'll do Twitch later tonight, for sure. See you guys